Good evening. I'd like to call. Whoop, you got to hang on just a second until we get. Hang on a second. You guys can sit for a second. We've got to wait a second until our computer catches up with us.
Oh, because we all are.
Now we can call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Have the clerk please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Trustee Petrucci? Here. Trustee Harper? Here. Trustee Germain is absent. Trustee Kalani? Here. Treasurer Horning?
Here.
Clerk Hopkins here. Supervisor Fountain?
Here.
We have quorum of the board. We also have present Township Manager James Whitman.
Thank you. Item number 4 is approval of our meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Harper, second by Treasurer Horning. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Call to the public this evening. Dwight, good evening. It does work.
Anyway, I'm Dwight Sacco. One thing I want to bring up, according to someone I heard, we had nobody representing us in the roads thing, the county meeting. We had no member of the township going there for that meeting.
Which meeting are you referring to?
The meeting of the county on roads.
Well, James went to one earlier in the year.
MDOT or something.
Yeah, the MDOT road where they talk about where their projects are going to be that coming year.
Well, anyway, from what I understand, we had nobody representing from Hartland Township at the meeting. And we need it. Because they got all of their roads are in beautiful shape. Go over there and drive on it. Grand River, since I've been out here, they've rebuilt it 3 times. And Hartland Avenue is getting really, really bad. And about, 90% of our roads in Hartland Township are county roads, right?
I don't know the percentage. It's most of them, certainly, yeah.
And they all need work. Okay.
Thanks, Dwight.
Yep.
Anybody else today that call to the public? Being none, we'll move on to item number 6, is approval of our consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Kalani, second by Trustee Petrucci. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item number 7 is an applicant for special event permit application number 236, Hartland Area Chamber of Commerce Carnival, to be requested for June 5th through 8th. Good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Back again earlier. So June 5th through the 8th, we set up June 2nd, and just the carnival at Hartland Marketplace. So do you have all the information?
Yep.
Okay.
Did this go through the planning commission? Just has to come here for the special permit, special use permit. Do you have any questions? Are there any comments or questions?
I have a question. I have a question for Jana. What were you looking for? What ideas have you had for expansion of that?
Well, we were looking at wanting to bring in various things this year of doing it, but because Marketplace is in receivership, they had certain things outlined where they were very apprehensive of anything but a carnival. So going forward, we're looking at Colleen and a group of us to try to do something, because initially when we were talking about doing this, we wanted to look at Memorial Day and centering it around the parade and closing it down come parade time. Hartland Community Council wasn't too keen on that initially, and that was 3 years ago. So now, doing it going forward, we're hoping it can be something that the township might show their outdoor movie theater, and then we have the carnival, and we have various things going on. You and I had spoke about some ideas that you had. So there's definitely ideas and opportunities for expansion. The problem that we have is location. Marketplace probably could do just a little bit more. Like this year, we're going to do a dog show and this log rolling thing, but pushed away from that. The ideal spot would be the Ramco property with Meyer, but they said no.
You know, I think we talked about that, though, I think that might be a parking issue.
And so we thought
It was so well attended.
Yeah, which was good, a nice problem to have. And so Meyer offered their overflow lot. They just said it can't come anywhere near the Meyer store because that's regionally not allowed. So, but that was kind of, we thought if we could line it down the street so it wasn't necessarily on the grass, or Elliott's would, obviously the insurance would pay for it. And that just made more sense to kind of do it that way so it would flow. So we would have some things at the school, things at the township, things on that property. So right now, going forward, location is going to be our critical issue. So township or Marketplace has been fantastic about it, but they are limited as well. Last year we couldn't set up 3 of the rides because of space. So this time that space issue will be addressed. But that's all we're going to do this time, is just a carnival.
Any other questions? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to grant conditional approval of special event permit application number 236, subject to the planning director's verification that the conditions of his review letter have been satisfied. Support.
Motion by Trustee Kalani, second by Trustee Harper. Any other discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We have no pending business tonight or new business. Board reports for our first meeting in April starts with Clerk Hopkins.
So absentee ballots will be going out, first batch of them tomorrow morning. The election, of course, is May 6th, and it's on the school's operating millage. They're seeking renewal of that, so it's the same one that we've had on the ballot for the last several years. This year, however, they are going for multiple years, so we wouldn't have to have this vote every year. And then also, Community Council is working on parade preparation. Once again, have the flyover buttons for people who are wishing to help contribute to the cost of the flyover.
Hey, Larry, I have a question, and I know I asked this before. So my son is at college, wants an absentee ballot. Can he just call up and they'll send it?
He can call up and then we can mail him one, and then he'll mail it back. He can go online. I have it online. It's a fillable form. You can just fill out and then mail it into us. Either way will work.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Treasurer Horning?
I have nothing this evening.
Trustee Kalani?
I have nothing.
Trustee Harper?
No report.
Trustee Petrucci?
Yeah, since Joe didn't say it, I will. Joe,
What?
we are a nonprofit organization.
We are official.
We are official now, 501c3.
Enrichment.
We got our numbers, so we now are tax exempt for donations and so forth. That would be the Teen Center and the Hero Organization. So we can accept donations.
But we could accept them conditionally.
I know,
For like
but
2 years.
now we can
Now we
accept
can
them.
officially.
Now we can accept the big ones.
Yeah, so all the big donors.
Thank you. I meant to bring this up in our consent agenda, but I did want to recognize that DEQ did give us a grant of $3,000 for the tire scrap cleanup at our cleanup. I just think that was worth recognizing that we did receive a grant.
Well, that's great.
And I would like to thank again staff for being aware of those opportunities and taking advantage of them when they can. With that, Manager Whitman?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Just wanted to highlight a couple things from the operational reports. First thing on there was a mention of the potential joint meeting with the Planning Commission. We're hoping to do that next Thursday, the 10th. That's all sort of come together quite quickly, so I guess I want to put that on the table right now. I don't know if there was any, if there's any conflicts with that. That is their next normal meeting, so we would look to meet with them probably at 7:30. Is that acceptable to the board? The agenda for that is basically to, I mean, like in years past, just to talk in general about what mutual goals are. We have a number of strategic plan initiatives that are in front of the Planning Commission, and it would be beneficial for everybody to sort of come together and be on the same page as the purpose for those. So that will be next Thursday the 10th at 7:30. Just wanted to put a plug in for, as we continue to communicate about the Safer Roads initiative, we know that homeowners associations have their meetings. It's coming up this time of year, so if there are any homeowner associations that you're aware of or anybody is interested, we'd be happy to come out and talk about the roads and what the plan is from that citizen task force. So I want to make that available. We will have the draft of the plan following the survey back to the board here on April 22nd, and so that's our next board meeting. Again, we're skipping a week because of spring break, so the next board meeting is April 22nd, and that's where we will be looking at the next draft of the Safer Roads plan, and that will be what will be distributed and publicized the most at this point, leading up to a final decision in August to go on for the November ballot. We do have a couple meetings, just a reminder, a couple meetings coming up with the developers. The board is welcome to attend on Wednesdays this month, tomorrow, April 2nd, April 9th, and 30th. Those are all at 4 o'clock. Hopefully you've gotten those emails, and if you're able to attend, that'd be great. Back to the roads, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this. We are starting to do some planning for some public meetings for the task force in order to get public feedback for them and certainly for the board. You are certainly invited and welcome to attend. Those dates were in the report in May, and those are just the ones we have right now. There will be several others as we get invited, or we'll be at the chamber meeting in May and things like that. Obviously, again, reiterating that this task force and the initiative is all about communication and it's all about listening, and we're going to be doing a lot of that, so you'll see a lot of activity related to that. Otherwise, happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions for Manager Wickman? Being none, we'll take a brief recess and then we'll start our work session. Ideas. We talked about this quite a long time at the admin meeting, but James, is there anything I missed on that opportunity?
That's the concept, and certainly if the board has other ideas about similar vein, we're trying to look for unique ways to help that fundraising effort in such a way that isn't a permanent, this could be a year, it could be some parameters, it could be some other asset, community asset, if the board's so inclined, was an idea, and so obviously the board would have to be in approval of it. We did talk a little bit about the pros and cons of it, and there are on both sides of it. As it stands, it's a reasonable idea. It's just whether or not the board is